Hello everyone, myself Dr. Jyoti Mandala. Welcome you all to the video lectures on object-oriented programming through Java. We are learning about inheritance concept. So as part of inheritance, we have learned about different types of inheritance, what is final keyword and what is nothing but overriding methods and what is the difference between overloading and overriding and dynamic method dispatch. All these concepts we have already learned. So let us move to the next concept and the inheritance, that is about abstract class. Now in this lecture we are going to learn about what actually the use of this abstract class is and how it will be helpful in the inheritance concept. Okay, so abstraction is nothing but while learning about the different features of Java, we have already highlighted this feature called abstraction. So abstraction is nothing but it is a process of hiding our implementation details. That means whenever you are using anything, it is not required for us to know how it has been developed, just we are using that option. A simple example of that one is we are using our mobile phone where we don't know how the internal features are designed for us. Okay, just we are making use of those apps available in the mobile phone, but the software behind that one is not required for us, that has been hiding from us, right? In the similar fashion here in the abstraction process, same thing is called as an abstraction. In Java also we have a process of hiding the implementation details, but only will show the functionality to the users, right? So how that can be done? That can be achieved. This abstraction can be achieved in Java in two ways. First way is we can use the abstract class, and the second way is we can use the interface. Okay, so in today's lecture we are going to learn in detail about this abstract class, how this can be used to achieve this abstraction process, and in the next lecture we are going to learn about this interface, how it can help us to achieve this abstraction. Okay, now let us see what actually an abstract class is. Abstract class is used to achieve this abstraction feature, and that can be achieved by using a keyword called abstract keyword. Remember why we are going to learn this one? Because we want to hide the internal features, only we want to hide the functionality. Okay, just we can use that thing. Now that can be done by using a keyword called abstract keyword, and these are all the rules we need to follow whenever you are using any abstract class. What are they? So any class that you want to make it as an abstract class, that class name should be preceded with a keyword called abstract keyword, and they are an abstract class. Whatever class you are going to write, we will be learning with example also, but remember, whatever abstract class we are writing, it looks like normal class only, but it has method definitions, that is called as non-abstract methods, and we have abstract method for which no method definitions will be there, that I'll show you. Okay, so that is the second role. That means any abstract class, whatever you are taking, that abstract class can have abstract and non-abstract methods. Abstract method is nothing but only method will be declared, there will not be any definition for that method. Such a method is called as an abstract method. So if you are having such methods in a class, then that class is called as an abstract class. Okay, now if you are writing any abstract class, that abstract class cannot be instantiated. That means no objects can be created for that abstract class. Okay, and also we can have final methods for your abstract class, and we can have constructors and static methods also for the abstract class. You need to remember these rules. Okay, whenever you want to convert any class to an abstract class, it should have abstract keyword. An abstract class can have a combination of abstract and non-abstract method. Objects cannot be created. It can have final methods, static methods, and also it can have constructors. So exactly what can we define is an abstract class is equal to a normal class, provided that additional feature for your abstract class is we can have a method definitions only. It cannot method declarations only. Method can be defined in its subclass. Okay, so to understand this one very clearly, let us see an example. Okay, before that you need to understand, like, an abstract class can have both abstract and regular methods also. That is what we have declared. So the abstract keyword is a non-access modifier. That is nothing but it is used for both classes and methods. Whenever you are writing an abstract keyword, no, that can be used for both classes and methods. So how it can be used for classes? If you are using that abstract keyword for a class, it is nothing but we are restricting the class that cannot be used to create the objects. So that means we can't create objects for that class. Okay, but if you want to use the properties that are available in that class, then only option we can have is whatever abstract class is there, that has to be inherited by another class, then only we can, through that inherited class only we can use these features. So the syntax for creating an abstract class is simply in front of class name we need to put a abstract keyword, and we need to write all the things belonging to that abstract class. So in this class we can have normal methods and abstract methods also. And also second thing is we can use this abstract keyword with the method also, like this. So that means uh, this abstract method, if you are trying to write in any class, that class should be an abstract class. Okay, what do you mean by abstract method is nothing but we are not going to define that method, we are just declaring that method. Such a method is called as an abstract method. And remember, abstract method is to be written in abstract class only. In normal class we can't write abstract method, and the body of that method, whatever abstract method we are only declaring, and the definition can be done in the or provided in the subclasses through the inheritance property. So if you want to write any abstract method, the syntax is like this. We are giving only the declaration, we are not going to define that one. So that's why you need to use abstract keyword, you need to write the return type, method name, parameter list, and end with the semicolon. We are not going to write the body of this method. Such a method is called as an abstract method. The definition of this method can be done in its subclass, which will be inheriting this abstract class. Got it? So you need to understand abstract class and abstract method. Okay, we can have abstract classes only with the normal methods, but it is not called as an abstract class in such a case. But if you are having an abstract method, then that method should be written in the abstract class only. Okay, remember there should not be no method body. Now let us see in detail with an example. I am taking a class called figure, which is an abstract class. That's why I wrote a keyword called abstract. Now in this I am taking two variables, dim1 and dim2, and I am writing the constructor. I told you abstract class can have a constructor. So here I am taking a constructor which is initializing the two instance variables dim1 and dim2, and then I have a method for which definition is given, and I have an abstract method for which definition is not given. So you need to understand here, this is completely one example of an abstract class. As we have one abstract method, this class should be defined as an abstract class. So this abstract class, which is figure, is having normal variables, normal constructor, normal method, and also it is having an abstract method where there is no definition for this method. Area is given in this. So this method area has to be defined now in its subclass only. Got it? And one thing you need to understand, for this figure class we can't create the objects. Okay, now what we can do is we will take one more class which is inheriting this abstract class. So let us call that class as a rectangle, and it is extending this figure. Now any class that is extending this abstract class has to define all the abstract methods. So how many methods we have in our example? We have only one method, that is area. So this area has to be defined in this subclass. So first this rectangle, this is the constructor of this one, and I am writing the area. You need to override the abstract method, or you need to define the abstract method in its subclass only. Got it? So if you have two methods, you need to define both the methods. If you have three methods, abstract methods, we need to define all the three abstract methods. You need to remember that one. Okay, and the normal methods, it is not required. If you want to override, you can override, or else you can simply use the definition what is available in its superclass. But abstract methods, all the abstract methods need to be defined in its subclass. Now I am creating my main class where the main method is there. Now I am creating an object of this rectangle. R is the object. I am passing two parameters at the time of constructor will be called at the time of object creation, and you all know about what is the super and all, because we learned already about the super keyword. That means we are calling the superclass constructor. These two variables are now initialized with 10 and 20 respectively. Now I am creating a reference variable for superclass. So figure, you know what is the meaning of this one. Superclass reference variable can refer to subclass object, which is called as dynamic method dispatch. We learned in our last class. Okay, now I am creating the reference variable of my superclass, and f is now can refer to subclass object. That means superclass reference variable can refer to subclass object, that we already know. Okay, now I am calling f dot display. So whenever I call f dot display, it will check in its particular class. In rectangle class it will check. Now in rectangle nothing is defined. See here, f equal to r is nothing but we are referring to our rectangle. Okay, now f dot display, if you see display is not available in its own class, then it will check in its super class. Yes, display method is there, it will be executed, you will be getting area is. Now coming back here, f dot area it will check, it will go here and area has been defined here. You will be getting dimension 1 star dimension 2, that is 10 into 20, 200 you will get. So you will be getting an output called area is 200, like that. Okay, so this is how abstract method and abstract class can be used. So what is the requirement, why we are writing like this is, we can simply give the abstract method declarations in the abstract class, and all the subclasses need to define all this abstract method. But suppose if you are having 5 abstract methods and all the 5 methods are not defined in its subclass, let us consider, then this class has to be declared itself as an abstract again. That is what told here. Any subclass of an abstract class, in our class is rectangle, must either implement all the abstract methods. So if you are having 5 abstract methods, all methods need to be defined, or else it has to declare itself as abstract. Suppose if it is not, if it is defining only 4 out of 5 abstract methods, then this class has to be defined again itself as a abstract class. Got it all of you? So you need to remember so many points here. What are all the points? I'll revise once again. An abstract class can have normal methods and abstract methods. Okay, and an abstract class cannot be, we can't create any object of that abstract class, and all the methods of the abstract class need to be defined in its subclass, or else that subclass need to be again declared itself as an abstract class. Okay, so these are all the, this is about your abstract class. You need to keep these things in your mind, right? So this is about your abstract class. I hope you all are clear with this concept of abstract class. So let us stop our class today here. In the next class we will see about interface concept, where through the interface we will be achieving the multiple inheritance. So let us all meet in our next lecture. Until then, thank you all of you.